You're a smart, accomplished woman who has likely been doing everything right. Clean nutrition, consistent workout, all of the things that you know are supposed to work. And yet, if you've experienced the scale not moving, you're not experiencing consistent weight loss results, you don't actually have an effort problem, a knowledge problem, or a discipline problem. You have a mindset operating problem. This video is going to talk about what exactly a mindset operating system is and why it can be the missing link for smart professional women to achieve their goals on and off the scale. And if you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Priyanka Venugopal. I'm an OBGYN physician turned stress and weight loss coach for professional women who self-identify as overachievers. There's a reason that simply tracking and calculating calories and points hasn't quite stuck. And this channel is all about busting myths and really giving you strategies that fit your real life. My goal for professional women who come in contact with my orbit is to show you strategies, skills, and tools to help you feel better on and off the scale so you actually start getting consistent momentum towards your body goals. And while I'm a doctor, I am not your doctor. The intention of everything you're learning here on this channel is to inspire you with information and tools. But if you need medical advice, please make sure to go and see your own physician. Recently on the channel, we covered the role that perimenopause and hormones are having on your weight loss efforts. We covered that over here, so you can go back and watch that video if you want to understand what hormones are doing in your body and how it might be impacting your weight loss journey. And then we talked about belly fat. I know that this is such a common struggle for so many overachievers. We discussed that in this video where we talked about the different strategies and reasons that belly fat might be really hard to address and the actual controllable factors that you can influence the most. This video is going one layer deeper. This is the single most overlooked variable for smart professional women, and it is all about your mindset operating system. Your mindset operating system is a set of thoughts that you are having about yourself, your goal, and your strategy. And when you put together multiple sets of thoughts together, that creates your belief structure. It's the thoughts and beliefs that you're having about yourself, your strategy, and your plan. That's the fuel behind how you show up. As an overachiever, you had a winning strategy when you were in school. Make a plan, execute the plan, you get results. This is how you passed exams, got A+s and gold stars, and made a lot of progress in your career. But as students, what we never realized is there is something happening between our making of the plan and executing the plan. And until we identify what that actual gap is, it's really hard to create consistent results. I used to think that I was just someone who was really disciplined and motivated when it came to school, but when it comes to weight loss, somehow that discipline would go right out the window. And this was a huge mistake that I used to make. How can it be possible that you have discipline in one area, but you don't have discipline in another? You're the same person with the same brain. The only thing that changes when it comes to the student mindset, which is studying for an exam, passing the exam, moving on to the next course versus weight loss is the thoughts and mindset you have been having about yourself, your strategy, and your goal. As a student, you likely had a lot of confidence because you're someone that is used to getting a lot of A+s and gold stars. School or studying might have been easy for you. You might have been someone that did really well in the educational system. So when you were studying for an exam or a course, you had an invisible mental operating system happening in the background. You had thoughts like, I can learn this. Let's knock this out. I can push through the study period and sleep later. If I study enough, I'll pass this exam. The trouble for smart overachieving women is we bring our student mindset, which was meant to be short sprints, into a strategy that is meant to be forever. Weight loss and achieving your body goal is never intended to be a short sprint. It's intended to be a lifestyle that you can actually sustain. When you're not aware of your mindset operating system as it pertains to weight loss and body goals, it's really easy to adopt a strategy that might give you short-term reward, but not give you long-term sustainable results. For example, if you know that tracking calories and calculating points is a winning strategy because you get reward, because you're able to do it for short periods of time, it makes a lot of sense that your brain has thoughts like, let's just push through this, let's just get to our goal through any means necessary. But it's keeping it short term. What starts to happen for smart overachievers is when you have an approach or a strategy that isn't feeling like a lifestyle, it doesn't feel like an approach that you can do forever, a part of your brain starts to rebel against your own approach. And this is where your thoughts and your mindset around your strategy and your plan might fill you with deprivation and FOMO. Your plan was never really the problem. It was the thoughts that you were having about the plan that completely sidetracked your results. So how do we start to identify your mindset operating system, where it is right now, and the mindset operating system you need to upgrade to really experience consistent results? Let's first start by identifying and defining what is a mindset operating system exactly. The way that best explains the neuroscience of where your behavior is coming from is the think, feel, act cycle. Its roots are in cognitive behavioral therapy. It's been around for thousands of years and has influenced philosophy and modern behavioral science. Here's how it works. The results that you have today, right now, on the scale, in your careers, in your relationships, in any area of your life, are a product of the actions and the inactions that you have taken. This part we know. When you do what you say you're going to do, you will get results. When you follow through on the plan, you're going to get results. If you procrastinate or don't do the plan, you don't get results. But where does that behavior come from? What drives smart professional women to do or not do what they said they were going to do? And this is the part that is essential. Every action that you take is driven by a feeling. There's an emotion that you're experiencing in your body. It is very real, it is very visceral, and it is driving how you show up moment to moment. Think back to those times that you feel really motivated, excited, full of belief, you have conviction and commitment about your goal. How do you show up towards your weight loss approach when you're feeling the high of motivation? You're going to be the one that's consistent, you're clocking the hours, you're doing the preparation, creating an environment that really supports your success because you're having the high of motivation, commitment, excitement, and belief. But in contrast, let's think about those times that you're feeling stressed, worried, when you have disbelief or discouragement. Maybe you mess up and you go off track and all of a sudden you're feeling the weight of a failure. When you start to wonder, will I actually even solve this problem? When you're feeling those emotions, all of a sudden your actions completely change. You take your foot off the gas in little or big ways. You have more screw it moments. You have more moments where you tell yourself, I'll just start again tomorrow. Rather than being consistent, diligent, and prioritizing your goal, you have small micro moments where you snack, scroll, and procrastinate, even though you said you weren't going to. I cannot tell you how often I have seen smart women say, I just wish I felt more motivated. I want to lose this weight. I want to support my hormone health, my vitality for the long run. And the trouble here is smart professional women are believing that motivation is going to fall from the sky and into our heads. This is not true. Motivation, conviction, and commitment does not happen on a whim. It happens from the thoughts you're having about yourself, your goal, and your strategy. And this is where we are leaving so much power on the table. Here's why we leave power on the table. We have two different parts of our brain. We have the primitive part of our brain and then the more evolved prefrontal cortex. Your primitive brain's operating system has just one goal: conserve energy and effort and make sure you don't die. That's it. It's not thinking or even caring about your weight loss goals. It doesn't care if you have vitality and strength for tomorrow. It's not thinking about your career, your promotion, your relationships. Its only goal is to think about you right now. It wants you to conserve energy and effort to help you survive, and it's just warding off danger. This is not a discipline issue, an effort issue, a desire issue. This is natural human biology. All of our brains are designed to conserve energy and effort when we're not aware that our primitive operating system is running the show. And this particularly affects smart professional women who have 1,000 responsibilities. You're someone that has a really big career. You're likely multitasking a lot between your career and home. And so it makes a lot of sense that your primitive operating system, when it comes to something that is just for you, like your body or your weight loss goal, creates a lot of thoughts for you to conserve energy and effort. The mindset of your primitive operating system is going to have thoughts like, let's just start again tomorrow. This time doesn't matter. It's just a few extra bites. I deserve to treat myself. We have sentences like this running the show. And when you have thoughts like that about yourself, your goal, and your strategy, this is the real reason that you have a feeling of complacency. Or maybe you notice that your motivation gets completely squashed, or you lose that excitement towards achieving your goal. Motivation did not leave you in a vacuum, and neither did your conviction at the start of this year. All that changed were the thoughts that you're having about yourself, your goal, and your strategy. The thing is, emotions are not just fluff. When you feel a lack of excitement, motivation, conviction, or commitment towards goals that matter to you, smart overachievers who have many responsibilities will very quickly create what I like to call a 3C story. It is convincing, convenient, and very compelling for you to take your foot off the gas. The worst part about this, when you're not aware that all that has been happening is your primitive operating system has been running the show, is smart overachievers will make the mistake of believing that something is wrong with them, that they don't have enough willpower, or that they're just not disciplined enough. And this is the lie that I really hope this one video completely busts. If you're a smart overachieving woman, you likely have a lot of discipline, you have a lot of grit, and a lot of resilience. However, if you have had a mindset that has just been running on autopilot without intentionality, it makes a lot of sense that the motivation and conviction you need to take consistent action goes up and down with your feelings of the day. It's easy to have positive thoughts and feel full of belief when life is easy. When your calendar feels open, when your career is cooperating, your partner is cooperating, your kids are cooperating, when everything feels like it's lined up, it's really easy to have positive thoughts about you and your body goals. However, that's not where real consistent results come from. Consistent results come from having an intentional operating system in your mind and a strategy that actually fits the math of your real life. And that means when it's busy in the workplace, when you don't have the support of your partner, or when things are challenging with your children. This is why your mindset operating system is essential. Think of it like lighter fluid for getting consistent results this year. When you have a challenge in the workplace or something coming up for you at home, this is where your thoughts about yourself and your life really matter. I remember for me back in 2018, as a busy OBGYN with an unpredictable schedule and 2 young kids, I had so many responsibilities going on. I would have the best plan on paper on Monday, and I would be really consistent with it. But by Thursday or Friday, if I had some middle of the night deliveries, or an emergency walked in the door, or if I didn't get enough sleep, or if my kids were acting crazy, the thoughts that I would have would completely change. Instead of having thoughts that fueled positive habits, I would have lots of convincing reasons to take my foot off the gas. I wanted care for myself, and food and alcohol was the only way to do it. Here's the big takeaway from this video. You are never executing on your plan in a vacuum. Motivation, conviction, and commitment will not just drop into your body out of the sky. It is something you can create on purpose. I want you to feel like you can dial up the volume on purpose, on motivation, commitment, and conviction whenever you need. And it starts with identifying your mindset operating system. Here's what I want you to understand. Every single person has had certain lived experiences. Your nervous system, which is where your stress responses come from, the fight, flight, freeze, fawn reactions that you're having, and even the thoughts that you have about yourself and your goals, are programmed and hardwired based on years and decades of real lived experiences. So it's important when you start to identify the mindset of your primitive operating system that you do so with some compassion. The mindset of your primitive operating system has simply been trying to conserve energy and help you survive today. It's not caring about your goals for tomorrow, but if you want to achieve your goals this year, if you want to activate the prefrontal cortex, the more evolved mindset operating system, we have to first start with becoming very aware of where you are right now. If you need to, pause the video and write these thoughts down. What have been your thoughts about yourself, your goal, and your strategy over the last 30 days, 90 days, 1 year? You will see a direct correlation between the thoughts you have been having about yourself and this goal and the results that you have today. And the best news is simply becoming aware of this framework is going to create the most freedom for you. Just remember, you didn't know that this is where your behaviors and your ability to be consistent really came from. This is not something that we learn in school. Once you become aware of what the mindset is of your primitive operating system, now you can't unsee it. Every time you have a thought that creates a feeling of disbelief, complacency, doubt, or discouragement, take a pause. Just remember, it is not your inherent potential or capability of losing the weight you want and achieving your goal this year. It is simply happening because of a set of thoughts that you're having. And remember, these are simply autopilot thoughts that your primitive operating system is creating. Start to pay attention to thoughts like, at this time doesn't matter. I don't have enough time for myself. I'll get to it later. I'll start tomorrow. I'll get there eventually. I'm not even sure if it's possible. These are simply sentences that your primitive operating system has been running on autopilot, so they have a lot of practice. And start to notice what emotions you feel when you tell yourself these sentences. Once you become aware of what your primitive operating system is, now you have an invitation to move into your prefrontal cortex and the intentional operating system that is going to completely up-level your ability to be consistent and achieve your goals this year. Thoughts like, this matters to me because I deserve to achieve my goals. I deserve to prioritize myself. I will make the time. Today matters. Let's focus on the next small step. I've got this. Those sentences are going to create a completely different body chemistry. Your internal environment, which is your operating system, is going to be completely up-leveled, and that feeling of motivation, conviction, and commitment that you have been craving gets to be on speed dial. The truth is, no one woman is naturally more disciplined than the other. No one woman is more capable of achieving their body goals. There is some genetics, there is past lived experience, and there is mindset that you have control over. While your genetics and your past lived experiences will very much inform your nervous system, your body's ability to burn fat and lose weight, and even your autopilot primitive brain thoughts, just remember this one tool, understanding the evolved mindset operating system, is where you actually have the most power. Metacognition is just a fancy way of becoming aware aware of the thoughts and feelings you're having in real time. Rather than living in autopilot, which so many smart professional overachievers are living in, it's the simple act of becoming aware. This doesn't really take so much more time. It takes just a few moments to check in with yourself and ask yourself, what am I thinking about myself, my goal, and my strategy? Just the act of metacognition has been shown to decrease distress signals in your brain and actually lower stress. So the moment that you can observe your thoughts instead of being in it is the moment that you have complete power back. This is the through line of everything that I do. And I'm on such a mission for you watching this to really understand while your strategy and your approach to reaching your body goals and your weight loss goals this year is so important. This element of the process, your mindset operating system, is the lighter fluid that we have been leaving on the table. I want to add one caveat to this that I think is really important. If your approach or strategy has been punishing, you have been under eating, not giving yourself enough nutrition, sleep, or rest, then you can try to do the mindset operating system work, but it will feel like oil on water. Not treating your body well on your journey to lose weight is going to be a surefire way for your approach to backfire. You're going to hear me say this often, but your strategy and your mindset are like two peas in a pod. The approach you have, which is the actual nutrition, exercise, sleep, rest decisions that you make, are essential to actually get you across the finish line for where you want to be with your body. But your mindset is going to be the fuel that actually gets you there. This matters because I know how much effort you have been putting towards your goals, and I know that this matters to you. So I wanted this specific YouTube video to really highlight the role of your mindset operating system, how often we're living in autopilot and not even aware of the thoughts we're having. The hard part about the mindset operating system is sometimes it is in your blind spots. It is hard to see the thoughts you're having because you're the one thinking them. This is why working with someone like an actual coach who does this work can be such a flex for you to achieve your goals. There are coaches in every industry, so finding someone that works in the goal and area that you're interested in might be really valuable for you. And what I love about mindset coaching is once you see your blind spots, you get so much control back. This is important enough that I will call this one of the necessary skills you need to not just lose weight, but more importantly, to keep it off for a lifetime. And the beauty of this one skill, identifying your primitive operating system from the evolved operating system, is this is a skill set that will translate beyond weight loss. When you learn how to do this and really become masterful at identifying what your thoughts are and then on purpose thinking new thoughts, this doesn't just translate to you achieving your body goals this year. This is a ripple effect in your entire life. The people in your life can tell a difference. Your family, your partner, and even your career. And if everything I shared landed with you in this video, I want to give you one really simple place to start. Take my free stress quiz, which will share with you what your primitive operating system mindset actually is. Now, because we're human and we're complex creatures, you likely have multiple stress archetypes at play, but most of us have one predominant stress archetype. I'll drop the link to the stress quiz in the description box below. It takes just a few minutes, and then I will email you with your results, plus some strategies on how you can start to identify your thoughts and how you can move into new ones. Here's what I want to leave you with before you go. You don't have a knowledge problem, an effort problem, a discipline problem, or a desire problem. But if you've noticed that you haven't been able to create real traction or momentum towards your goals, it is not something that is unique to you. It is simply your primitive mindset operating system that's been at play. Just becoming aware of this is the very first step. And just know that working with someone that can help you identify those thoughts can really spearhead bigger results. I hope you found this video helpful. Hit subscribe and leave a comment below with one thing you identified or caught yourself thinking today. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you at the next one.